Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since my last update. I have been locked away from my computer for I think 2 weeks, but I managed to get back home, and yeah, everything is good now. So I'm gonna give a quick update here. I don't want to focus on the price on today's video. I think there's subjects that are far more important than price right now. In any case, I check the price at least twice a day. So if I have anything to update, I will update. Yeah, for now I don't have anything new. You can watch my last video if you're interested only in price. But in this video, I want to focus on the economic impacts of this coronavirus and how this economic crisis is different from others that we've known before. So for this, I'm going to give a quick lesson here, very basic and quick lesson on economics. And what you see here, basically this graphic is how you would represent the economy. The economy starts by the banks printing money and giving this money to the people in the form of credits or loans. Well, what's the people really? The people here, you see here, all the people down here, this is you and me and your family and everyone else. This is society in general, which constructs big corporations, big industries, small and medium businesses, and people who are self-employed. So all these things here is us, is we, the people here. This is society. This is what we are. We are all these big corporations, industries, medium and small businesses, and self-employed. That's what represents everyone in society. So this society, we the people, we take money from the bank in the form of loans, and then we use it to produce goods and services, which are here. And then these goods and services are going to be distributed to the shops where we ourselves are going to go later and buy our own goods and services, the goods and services that we produce later when they are finished and distributed to the shops. Then we go to the shops and buy them. So they go back to ourselves. And this is how basically money moves in society. This is basically, this is the economy, how you would draw the economy. So you understand that if the money comes from the banks to the people and the people produces goods and services and then they buy them themselves from the shop, you understand that the money is circulating here. The money that came from the bank is now circulating here. Some of this money is used to produce these goods and services. Some of this money is used to buy these goods and services. Some of this money is used to reinvest it to grow your business. If you maybe, for example, you have a small business, you can use some of this money in the circulating supply to reinvest it in your business and grow your business. Employ more people, and maybe one day you become a big industry. So some of this money is used for that, and some of the money actually goes back to the bank and it's removed from the circulating supply because people want to save money sometimes as well. The people want to have some money for the future. So what they do is deposit the money back to the bank. So this is a normal economy in a normal world. Now there's problems sometimes with this model of economy because sometimes there's too much money in circulation and there's not enough goods and services for people to spend that much money. So then it creates shortages in goods and services. This in economics, it's known as a crisis of supply. What the government does to avoid this is they implement some policies and regulations. They increase the interest rates to make people want to deposit more money into the bank and take out less loans from the banks to reduce the circulating supply of money. What they do is when they increase the interest rates, it means if you deposit money in the bank in a savings account, this account is going to pay you higher interest. So it means your money is going to earn you money in the bank. So this incentivizes people to deposit money in the bank, and when they deposit money in the bank, this money is out of the circulating supply. So now there's less money and you start to fix the problem. At the same time, increasing interest rates will make people and companies not want to take out loans, so many loans from the bank, because of course they have to pay this money back to the bank, and if the interest rates are higher, it means they're going to pay this money back with a higher interest. So now people don't want to take out loans because it's very expensive. They have to pay a lot more money back in the future. So what this does is that it doesn't inject that much money into the economy, and in the other hand, it takes money out of the economy, of the circulating supply of money here. At the same time, governments work on infrastructure plans so that the business can develop more products and services, because remember, we had a shortage of products and services. So the governments work on infrastructure plans to develop more products and services to satisfy all the money that they're circulating here. They also give incentives to businesses, and in some more serious cases, they even control some sectors. If there's a shortage of supply in a specific sector, for example, now with the coronavirus, there's a shortage of toilet paper, and there's a shortage of masks, and there's a shortage of some pharmaceutical supplies. So some governments are controlling the pharmaceutical sector now, especially in China and countries where there's more government control, but I think in all the countries by now. The government dictates how many masks they can produce, people can produce, how many they can sell, for what prices they have to sell them, and things like that. So yeah, the government sometimes will step into a specific sector if there's a shortage of supply in a specific sector, and they will actually control this sector and tell people how they have to run their business according to, to the government's ideas, which are usually not very good. But anyway, that's a subject for another video. Now, when this happens is that, again, the thing starts to snowball again. And now, because too many people are putting too much money into the bank, and banks are not giving enough credit because the interest rates are very high, the circulating supply of money starts to shrink. When the circulating supply shrinks, businesses start to not have enough money, because remember, they cannot get loans from the bank because the interests are too high. So they cannot reinvest in the business. They cannot afford to pay big salaries. Sometimes they even have to fire people because they don't have enough money to pay salaries. And then the unemployment rate goes up, and the economy starts to go bad. Basically, there's not enough money, and then is when we enter economic crisis that it's well known in economics, and economists call this a crisis of demand. Now there's not enough demand because there's not enough money circulating here. So what does the government do when we have this type of crisis? The government will start to give easy credit again. They will lower the interest rates so that it's easier to people to get money from the bank, because they can give it back with very low interest. So it will incentivize people to get easy money. And this will stimulate consumption, because if companies can take loans easily, they can now afford to employ more people, to pay bigger salaries, to reinvest, to grow the business. And at the same time, these employees are going to have bigger salaries. Everyone is going to have a job. And so people will have more money, and then they will be able to spend more here in the shops. So this stimulates consumption. They will also lower tax. So at the same time, people have more money, more spare money to spend more money, basically. So this also stimulates consumption, and then the governments usually also increase in public spending. So these are the measures that economists know to use when there's crisis of supply or crisis of demand in a normal economy. Okay, when there's if there's a crisis of supply, government will remove money from the economy. And when there's a crisis of demand, the government will inject money into the economy to grow the circulating supply of money. But this money is injected or taken out through us, through people. You see, we are the first step in the economy. We people are the economy. And this time, in this crisis, everyone is locked. Everyone is locked, and no one is allowed to go and produce goods and services that then will be bought and sold in the shops by ourselves, by people. We're not allowed to produce anything because business have to shut down. And we're not allowed to leave our houses to go to the shop and buy goods and services. So you understand that this never happened before. Since these economic policies exist in recent history or in modern economy, since these policies exist, we never had a situation where there's basically everyone is locked down in their houses from one day to the next. Millions of people, thousands of millions of people from one day to the next are suddenly locked down. They're out of the economy. So it's like trying to inject money into something that is not even there to start. So this money will not go into circulation for as long as the quarantine lasts, and it's been already like 3 weeks in some countries. This money is not going to circulate because people are not allowed, like I said, to produce anything or to go to the shop and buy and sell things. So this time, these policies here, this injecting money and this taking out money, it's not going to work this time. It's not going to go through because there's no people. And this is a situation that it's completely new, and economists don't have any experience in a situation like this. You have to understand that this is an unprecedented situation and that these policies logically are not going to work here. The only thing the money can do here is go right back to the bank. This money cannot, yes, you can still buy some goods and services and food and some basic things, but this is a very, very small part of the economy. Basically, mainly this money will be used businesses will use this money to pay salaries for their employees, because the employees have contracts and they still have to get their salaries even if they're not allowed to work. Companies have to pay salaries. And companies have expenses. They have to pay rent. They have to pay back the loans that they got to the bank to start the business. So the money that they pay to the employees or to the landlord, these people are going to use it to pay back their loans back to the bank. A little bit is going to be used, of course, to buy food and some basic supplies that we still have. But basically, the money can only be used to give it back to the bank to pay back the loans that everybody has loans, basically these days, people and companies. So this money will go right back to the banks. So it's not going to increase the circulating supply, which means it's not going to stimulate consumption, and it also won't create inflation because it's not going to increase the circulating supply. It's going to go right back out of the economy again, basically, because the economy, basically, it doesn't even exist almost. Like, it's like trying to inject blood through a body that is not even there. When we have traditional crisis of supply or demand, you can inject or take out money out of the economy. It's like injecting blood through a body that it's not doing so good. It's going through a crisis, but okay, let's do a dialysis and let's inject some good blood here, and the blood starts flowing again, and then the organism starts going back to balance. But in this case, it's like trying to inject blood in a body that it's not even there. This time people are locked. No one really has any idea of what's going to happen. We are in uncharted territory here. Yes, there are some policies, some new policies that are coming out now, because this is happening so fast. No one has any idea of how to react, on what to do, or even to prevent a very bad crisis when this situation finishes. There's some policies that are being discussed and implemented already. I think they started I'm not sure now, in Spain and France and Germany. I think banks are saying, okay, we're gonna give you free money, basically, we're going to give business free money here so that they can pay employees, and these employees can pay back their loans and their mortgages and everything, because otherwise, if we don't give free money now and companies cannot afford to pay salaries, people are not going to be able to pay back loans, and the whole banking system is going to collapse. So basically, they have to do this, but they have some conditions. They're telling businesses, okay, we give you free money now so that you can go through this crisis, you can pay your employees, you can pay your rent, you can pay back your loans. But when this crisis finishes and the quarantine finishes, you cannot fire your employees, because if you start firing people, then people are not going to have money, people are not going to buy goods and services, and the whole, we can go into a very bad economic cycle. So there's some measures that are being taken, but like I said, this whole situation is very, very new. Things are changing every single day. No one really knows how this is going to end. For me, logically, the longer the quarantine takes, the more severe is going to be the crisis afterwards. So let's hope that this all finishes. 1 month is not bad. The big corporations really don't care if they don't have income for 1 month, but especially small and medium businesses, the expenses for the fixed expenses for small and medium businesses are very, very, very high. They usually have to pay. They have to pay mainly the loan that they got from the bank to start the business. In the beginning, they usually have to pay rent, they have to pay a lot of taxes, they have to pay salaries. These people cannot afford to shut down for 1 month. It's just impossible. So if this lasts more than 1 month, these small businesses are gonna probably will disappear. Hopefully the virus will be under control, and after 1 month, the quarantine will finish. But if it's not the case, and if the quarantine lasts longer than that, I predict that many, if not all, small and medium-sized businesses are going to disappear, are going to be just too affected to go back. So guys, that's the situation. I'm going to leave the video here. I hope it was clear. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and see you soon. Bye.